I'm back and I'm here to discuss one last time with you the age group development curriculum. And what you're going to see now is my personal opinion, my personal take on how I develop players that have low level skill and the process that I want to use. And the reason for this is because you guys probably know this. I've been doing this a long time. Some people call me the angry soccer guy and whatnot. And to be honest with you, I'm not angry. I'm trying to help you guys as parents make better decisions. That's why all this content is free. If you need help with implementation, let me know. We can have that conversation later. But the point is, we have too many players in this country that are too low level across the board. Do we have 1% that are better skilled? Yes. So, cool. You have a group of players. That's why the national team pool has a greater level of ability in terms of the overall playing pool. But the grassroots, the 95% of players that are not in that elite category are not good enough. And so I'm going to show you my order of how I develop players and the processes that we use within our organization with High Soccer Prospects. And again, this is a long-term play. We're not worried about winning a game on the next weekend or winning the next tournament or anything like that. This is just the process of what we want to do and is our development methodology. So we develop technique and we follow this process, and I'll expand a bit more than what you see, but I think it'll help you understand. So we do it in this order from a technical standpoint. And the first thing that we want to develop is core skill. Now, core skill, just for reference, is your basic ball manipulation, basic ball mastery, basic mastery of the ball. And it's honestly just focus on core concepts. This would be like juggling. This would be like foundation, toe taps, drags, dribbling the ball with the right foot, the left foot, like little things like that. Those are fundamental ball skills to make players better, just manipulation of the ball. So you have to develop that first. Like, I don't think players can do anything without core skill, which is the fundamental ball skills. The second one we're going to get into is dribbling ability and skills. This is how we teach players now specific movements with dribbling. So this would be things like 1v1 skills, so attacking skill moves. We would have changes of direction, stops and starts, and what I call escape or evade skills. And the whole point of this is to teach players now, after they have core skill, to have the ability to take people on and deal with 1v1 situations, to either beat an opponent, change of direction skill. This would also include escape moves, stops and starts. These are things that players need to be able to do to be successful, and it's all combined into 1v1 playing ability. So a lot of players in this country don't have the creativity, the freedom, the expression to play somebody 1 versus 1 and beat them without a consequence. So the consequence would be mom and dad yelling at them, coach yelling at them not to dribble, everybody telling the kids to pass the ball. And if we look at the best players in the world, they are all obviously exceptional at passing, but they're also exceptional at dribbling. So that could be dribbling to beat an opponent. That could be dribbling to break a line. That could be dribbling to score a goal or to cross or whatever the situation is. And these are all pieces that come, in my opinion, in sequential order. The next one would then, it's really 4 and 5. They tie together, but it would be the passing ability with both feet and receiving ability with both feet. So to technically be able to execute a proper pass, right and left foot, which takes a lot of repetition to do, especially if the player has a favoritism towards one foot. And same thing with the receiving ability. And you'll see a lot of times with lower level skilled players, the ball will be played to them and it's almost like the ball bounces or ricochets off their foot. And it takes time, and this is why core skill is so important, especially with juggling, to develop the ability to receive and control and have proper touch. And this is not an easy process to do, but that would be the next phase into doing this. And then once you have these skills, core skill, dribbling, 1v1 ability, passing ability, receiving ability, then you kind of open up every single door possible for player development. And this is where you can then touch on advanced decision-making. And this is one thing I did not say, but as you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you're going to be probably, or should be, following the methodology we put out with the training session formats for age groups and the numbers that they play at. So like the possession phase or the creating player surplus phase, the 1v1s and 2v1s. You can be implementing that stuff as you're working on it. But obviously once they have all 5, then you can start expanding on the advanced decision-making components But you need to make sure, and this is why this note is here, to achieve mastery with precise planned training and implementation of tactical principles in small-sided games using the Croatian Football Federation process, which is very similar to what I shared with those tables. And you have to remember that the development of players takes years, and they will experience both positive and negative moments throughout their journeys, which will be 10 plus years. So if a player starts competitive at, say, U8, and they finish at U18, that is 10 years. And I think this will help kind of highlight the point that I'm trying to make. FIFA's policy on training compensation is 12 to 23 years old. That's a completely separate topic, but the point is that is, as you can see, more than a 10-year window. So I'm not going to touch on training compensation today, but I'm just trying to explain to you that they view that from 12 to 23 years old. So you have to also account for prior to that. So it's really longer. And it's just all about the development process. And this is the model that we use with core skill, dribbling, 1v1 playing ability, passing ability, receiving ability. And this is all with both feet, by the way, as close to 50-50 as possible. And then obviously you can start hitting on the advanced components with decision making. So what that means, though, just because I'm sure somebody will ask, what does it mean advanced decision making? Well, in order to make a decision, you have to have the tools to do so. So that's what the first 5 steps are. And then you can highlight basic decision making, dribble or pass. Now, when you get to the advanced stuff, that's where complexity and variation of work can happen. So now, for example, you can add a shot. So when you dribble at somebody, you want to be efficient and effective, beat the opponent and get the shot off. Now we've added another layer, and that layer would be, okay, if I need to beat my opponent to score a goal, how do I take him on, in which direction, and how do I shoot? Do I shoot hard or do I finish and try and place the ball? That's just a very quick example to kind of give you an idea. And that's not necessarily advanced, but it's advancing the decision-making process. Another example would be, okay, let's say you have a 3v2 counterattack going to goal. How do you attack? Do you all run in the same straight line? Probably not the best way to go. You might need to have overlaps or quick combinations to try and break the opponent's barrier or last line of defense of 2. And those are just little details that continue the spectrum of advancing the decision-making process of players and helping them generate the ability to make better and more informed decisions. And then the last note I want to leave you with this is, if you look at the best players in the world, obviously you're typically 2 or 3 steps ahead, or they try to be. But one of the things that I've noticed is they are exceptional at making last-second decisions on the fly and executing. So what that means is, I have an idea in my mind. I know that I want to play the ball down the left channel because I've already scanned, I'm already aware, I already know where the guy is. I've painted my picture, and as I pick up the ball, a defender readjusts his position before I was able to make that pass. So now what I'm going to have to do is probably take a second touch past the player, and then I can hit that pass. And it's those little adjustments on the fly that they're able to execute because of advanced decision making, that they're able to just take it to another level. A final example would be, I was in a game the other day, and it was like a 9v9 game or something. I had made a decision in my mind. I'm going to take my guy on 1v1. I'm going to cut in and I'm going to finish. So I made the cut. I pushed the ball to take the shot. I happened to see a guy in a slightly better position than me, and I thought that he would have a better chance to score. And I had to make that decision in less than a second to, instead of trying to take the shot, make the pass to a teammate. Even though my original decision was to shoot, I'm now passing to a teammate, and he was able to finish the ball in the back of the net. But the point was, I was able to make that split-second decision with advanced decision-making and awareness. So that's very important, and this is our methodology. I hope that makes sense. This is what we try and do. We try and build it in this order, and I hope as a parent, this helps you make better decisions in terms of, if your child has no skill, follow core skill, then go to dribbling, then go to 1v1, passing, receiving, and then hitting towards advanced decision-making. If you found value from this, I would greatly appreciate it. It would mean the world to me if you could share this with somebody else that's probably in a similar situation to you. And it would mean the world. And I mean that really. So I spent a lot of time putting this together, and I hope you find value, and I will see you in a future video. Have a great day.